I'm constantly testing the best photo editing software that's on the market, and I do this for two reasons. One, so I can recommend the best options currently available to people who watch these videos or read my articles on themframes.com, and also so I can find apps that can sync into my daily professional workflow and just make my life a lot more easier in terms of getting powerful edits, getting smooth workflows in speedy times, and delivering my work to clients so they're happy and I'm always working within deadline. And in this video, I'm going to show and share the 3 apps that I'm using on a daily basis in my professional and personal photo editing workflows. Before I get into it, please like this video. Also, do subscribe and tap that bell icon so YouTube notifies you when I next publish. Let's get into it. Now, if you don't know about me, I have been a photographer for over a decade. I do portrait photography, working with a range of brands and personal clients. And in my personal work, I tend to do street travel and landscape photography. And I'm going to go through the professional apps that I'm using first. I won't be doing an absolute deep dive into all of them. I've got other videos that do that, and I'll link them up at the top. But it's just to give you an overview of what I'm currently using in 2026 and to give you some options if you're looking for new photo editing software to improve your workflow. So the first one is very cliche, but it's Adobe Lightroom, and I've been using it for over 10 years, and recently it's become the best it's ever been. And I'm exclusively talking about Lightroom CC, which is available across desktop and mobile. And the reason I like using that one is because sometimes I like editing on my MacBook. By the way, I've got a MacBook Air M5 review, which I'll link up at the top. But sometimes if I'm chilling out, say I'm on this couch or I'm in bed, I'll switch it over to my iPad and I can just pick up with my edits where I left off, thanks to that cloud functionality where I can just take it from one device to another without losing any of my progress. I also find with Lightroom CC that it's a much more intuitive software compared to the desktop version Lightroom Classic. It's got a much more modern design, navigation is much easier, and it's really better suited to all experience levels, not just professionals, but also photographers who are just starting out, say they're beginners, or intermediates as well that are passionate hobbyists but never wanted to go into the professional market. Lightroom CC ticks all those boxes, whereas Lightroom Classic is going to be overkill in terms of user interface for many users. The biggest game changer in recent years for Lightroom for me was the introduction of its AI-powered tools. Now, I know for some AI is a dirty word, but really it shouldn't be if you're using the right software that are offering excellent results. And to Lightroom's credit, say what you want about the company of Adobe, but they're just doing all the right things. Its object removal is best in class. And what I mean by that is sometimes with other software, you'll remove something from an image using an AI-powered tool, and it'll just be messy, it won't be smooth, it won't produce natural looks, and you'll end up having to do it again and again until you get it right. It's just not the case with Lightroom for me. I literally swipe over an object, and it removes it, and I can move on to the next object, and it's just giving me that smooth, consistent workflow, which is important. And recent updates has really been beneficial for me, who is a portrait photographer, because now I can use the AI-powered masking tools where I can pinpoint specific parts of a subject. So, for example, I can do the face, I can do the eyes, I can do clothing, I can do body, skin, and not the face. I can target the hair. And I no longer have to do this by using the brush tool, which you have to be very neat, which I'm not. I'm left-handed, I'm clumsy at best, and I always make a little bit of a mess with the brush tool and have to keep going back and redoing it. I don't have to do that anymore. I can just pinpoint, select parts of my subject, and then start making those local adjustments and enhancing the image. And it's been an absolute game changer for me, and one of the reasons why I'm sticking with Lightroom. I also like the presets on Lightroom. I think it's got a good range of in-house presets, and I just find it's the best to create my own presets. Now, it's not the only one that allows you to create presets. Most of them do, Capture One does as well. But I just like the organization of Lightroom in terms of how I can create the preset, where I can file it, and how I can access it quickly. It again just makes that workflow run smoothly. and that's a great thing. So that's Lightroom that I'm using for a large part of my professional work. Now, another one I'm using is one I introduced recently, which is Imagen AI. Now, I just want to give you a quick disclosure. Imagen is a sponsor of them frames, but I'd already incorporated it into my workflow prior to us agreeing a partnership. And the reason I do that is because I don't want a partnership with a company that is not going to be an app that I'm using myself. Now, the reason I use Imagen is when I'm doing kind of large batch shoots, say I'm working for a brand and there's multiple models, multiple clothing changes, there's going to be a lot of images that I have to go home and go through and edit those raw files. Well, Imagen really makes that process easy, and what's great is it integrates seamlessly with Lightroom, the app that I'm already using. The way it works is you train an AI profile, and the way you do that is you give access to your previously edited images through Lightroom, and Imagen integrates with them. It then analyzes how you edit in different environments, so different lighting conditions, and it looks at different environments, different genres, and it analyzes your color grading, how you like to set your exposure, your skin softening, sharpening, all those good things that you do. It can learn that, so when you do a future batch editing session, you just upload the raw files, you select your AI profile, and Imagen will just do it for you. You can walk away from your laptop, you'll get an email notification when the editing is done, you can return and you can make some tweaks if you want. But in my experience, it's got really accurate results. It doesn't feel like the AI is just editing willy-nilly. Instead, it really has learned my style, as I say, from me uploading those images that I previously edited, and pretty much like for like, and it just sped up workflows, and I was able to again deliver the shoots to clients much quicker, and it was also less brain energy that I was using. So I would recommend checking it out. There's a free trial if you want to do that, so you can try it risk-free. But there's a lot of other photographers that are using it that are saying it's heavily impacting their workflow in an absolute positive way, and it's allowing them to scale and deliver much easier. So when I look at my personal photography, I've often done street photography, but right now I'm preferring a much more slower pace of life in my personal work. And I'm doing a lot more nature, landscape, and travel stuff as well. And for that, I'm using Luminar Neo. And the main one is I just wanted to separate professional from personal. It made it more enjoyable for me to edit my personal images when I'm not using the apps that I'm using on a daily basis for my professional work. And I just find Luminar very enjoyable to use. It's got a very modern design, lots of color coding. It feels futuristic. It feels in line with what people want from design language in 2026. And that has a great impact. You know, if you're opening up a software and you're like, oh, I don't like the look of this, then is that really going to inspire you to edit your images at the best of your abilities? In my experience, no. So having an app that's actually easy on the eye is something that I've found useful. But it's not just a pretty face. It functions exceptionally well. It's very smooth in functionality. Both on my old M1 laptop and now my M5 laptop, I've not had really any negative experiences. And it's got a lot of fun AI-powered tools like sky replacement, auto enhance. You can add some bokeh if you want to do that. And there's also an AI assistant where you can input a prompt and just say what you want from your edit. You have to keep it minimal so it doesn't get confused, but just put a simple prompt in terms of color grading, exposure, sharpness, and it will do the editing for you. And I find that fun to use on times where I don't want to sit there doing things manually. But on those days where I do want to manually edit, Luminar Neo is absolutely excellent, and I'm really enjoying it for my personal photo editing. So those are the three apps that I'm currently using in 2026. I'm constantly testing apps, as I say, so maybe that will change. And what's right for me may not be right for you. So you can try all of these apps that I've just mentioned on free trials, and you can find out risk-free if they work for you. And I'd say do the same with other apps that you're hearing about. You know, Capture One you'll hear about, DxO you'll hear about, Affinity, which has just gone free, you'll hear about. And, you know, nothing ever replaces your real-world experience. So listening to professional photographers talk about this software is the first step, but you getting hands-on with the software and just finding what works for you is going to be the best way for you to really get a grip of which apps are improving your workflow and just making it more enjoyable. So yeah, let me know what you're using at the moment down in the comments. If you did like this video, then please do slap a like on it. Hit that bell icon so YouTube tells you when I next publish, and also subscribe as well, because the more subscribers I have, the more confidence I have. And I know that's shallow, but it's true because we're human. And until next time, I'm Dan. This is Them Frames. See ya.